So this is a post that was made last week, I think, maybe a week and a half ago on the CCFR page. I screenshot it because it was very interesting to me. So I'm going to read it out to everybody. It says, "Hi, everyone. I want to share my experience and story with Spectre Limited and their recent Crusader Arms Crew 308. I've purchased this rifle at a local gun dealer in Calgary about a month ago, which was quite expensive, blah, 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 blah. And I expected it to be the greatest thing ever. It turned out to be nothing remotely close. In fact, on day 2 of taking it out of the range at approximately 40 rounds through the barrel, the gun exploded in my face, shooting pieces of hot metal through my face and neck area, cutting me in a few places and embedding a piece of receiver in my chin." Now, quick commentary on that. I saw a picture. He posted a picture of himself. He took a little bit of like gunpowder, like
Okay.
even the spot on his chin. It looks like there's a little blood dot, but it's not leaking. You can see a scratch on his neck. It's not what I would call a laceration or a
It's not like he
cut
needed
or
stitches.
yeah, like this. I've had a gun blow up in my face, unfortunately. My photo looked more dangerous than his photo, and
Okay.
mine was just gunpowder. Okay.
Okay.
um Bottom line is this gun's chamber is completely out of SAMI spec. Spent brass grows by nearly 30 thousandths of an inch, which is totally unacceptable. I have measured the spent brass and it's way out of the norm. Now, no photos showing this,
Showing the
but
brass.
showing the brass, but there are, or like on a caliper or anything, but there are photos of the blown up gun. It says, I've measured the spent brass and it's way out of the norm. I contacted Spectre Limited and was told to send the rifle back to them. A month later, still no response. My suggestion is to stay away from this junk. Now, I'm going to show the photos that he
She's
put
shooting
in.
factory ammo.
Well, and that was one of the major questions that people had for him. He said he was shooting. He didn't say. I think said he was shooting. Oh God, now I'm blanking. PMC 223.
Okay.
So he said it was factory PMC 223. So this is the picture of his gun, and yeah, that I'd call that a catastrophic failure.
Yeah.
Like it sure seems likely that the gun blew up.
I don't think they're supposed to bend like that.
No, I don't think the receiver is supposed to bend like that at all.
No.
Um, and my people are already commenting like, Mike, you need to scroll down to the comments to read the actual timeline. And yes,
Okay.
Mike is absolutely right. I am 100% going to do that. I can't do everything at once. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I promise. So this is the other photo that was shared with it. The receiver cracked all the way
Okay.
down here. Um, what I like about this, Steve Goulet, the owner of Spectre Limited,
Yeah.
responded to this comment.
Okay.
How
Good
could
on
he
him.
not? How could he not? So this is a screenshot of Steve's reply. He says, regarding the incident in this Facebook post, Crusader Arms stand behind all of its products and service. It is why we offer customers a lifetime warranty on our products. We take all functionality issues extremely seriously from a safety, reliability, functionality, and customer experience perspective. We are aware of the failure presented to us by this customer, and we are grateful to hear that he is okay. To be completely transparent, we wish to share this with you, the chain of events that are not outlined in this Facebook post by the customer.
Yeah.
The customer reached out to us on September 1, 2023 at 11:05 a.m. He didn't have to get that specific, but I understand why he did. He communicated that he was experiencing, quote, major accuracy problems, reporting groups of 8-inch spread at 100 yards using premium ammunition. I don't know if PMC 223 is premium ammunition, but whatever. He further stated that he consulted with a gunsmith. The result of the conversation determined the headspace was, quote, completely off. Crusader Arms customer service replied to the customer in question on September 1 at 11:12 a.m. That's pretty prompt, advising the said customer, quote, something is definitely wrong with your rifle. Customer service continues to inform the customer that they have a lifetime warranty to provide the shipping address, so a prepaid
Yeah.
return shipping label, and I'll give props at prepaid. Okay, awesome. Could be mailed to him so that the rifle could be returned as soon as possible to our shop to identify and fix the problem. On September 1, 11:18 a.m., the customer replied to the email thanking customer service for the prompt reply and voiced displeasure for the inconvenience of using a warranty on a brand new rifle, but that he was hopeful that it would be resolved.
That's what
September,
warranties are there for.
that's what they're there for. Exactly. And yeah, of course you're pissed. Okay. First rifle, was it made on a Friday? What happened here? I understand all of that. But,
Yeah.
you know, it appears as though they're like, holy fuck, what happened? Send us this rifle back immediately.
Yeah.
And at that point, now the argument can be made that, you know, QC, like, how does that make it out the door? I'm completely comfortable with somebody making that argument, but nobody can say that like the customer's original claim was like the Spectre told him to go fuck himself, and that doesn't seem like that was the case here.
Oh, and emails are binding in court.
Yeah, for sure. Right. So on September 1, 11:45 a.m., customer service replied, relating with the customer's frustration and reassuring the customer that being a Canadian company, service will be taken care of in country and therefore won't be several months to resolve like typical warranty turnabouts abroad.
Great.
Customer service advised the customer to keep an eye out for the email with the prepaid return shipping label. It would be sent from our department. On September 1, 11:46 a.m., the customer said, great, thanks again. Looking forward to this. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that means. On September 1, 11:57, Crusader Shipping Department emailed the customer a prepaid label. Okay, so basically it's like we followed through. Okay.
Yeah.
September 1, 4:04 p.m., customer thanked the shipping department and confirmed that he would be shipping the rifle back short. So this all happened in the span of one business day. Okay.
Well, and most of the conversation happened in the span of an hour.
It did. Yes. Yeah,
Like,
exactly. So following this chain of communication, we were under the impression the customer had shipped the rifle back to us. However, on September 5th at 11:03 a.m., everything happens at 11 a.m. We found that the customer, instead of returning the rifle, was determined to be problematic. Okay, whatever. He took the rifle out the following day to shoot it with different factory ammo, PMC 147 grain FMJ. Okay, this I didn't catch the first time I read this. Apparently, Steve is saying that he was shooting different ammo when he was shooting the PMC. So no word on either side what the original ammo was, other than he said it was premium ammo. The customer decided to negligently, sorry, he couldn't have been PMC 223. I'm sorry. PMC, well, 147 grain FMJ. I'm an idiot. It's a 308 rifle. It's not a 223 rifle. Sorry. Yeah, okay. The customer decided to negligently run a test to, quote, confirm the rifle exhibited the same issue as before sending it back. Before sending it back.
yeah.
Furthermore, says, quote, 3 rounds through, the gun has exploded. The customer states he is dropping off the rifle and its damaged parts this morning to Canada Post for you to examine what, quote, went horribly wrong with it. So if what Steve says here is accurate, and he's putting this in quotes, it seems likely he's got the emails to back this up. Like the customer just lost the high ground here. Number one, posting on the CCFR about it. The only reason to do that is to try to badmouth the company.
Yes.
Like, go ahead, get it dealt with. Maybe once it's all dealt with and you have a better idea of what happened, you can talk about it. But the only reason to go on the CCFR is to rant to people and to try to make the company look bad. And like, how can that be seen as anything other than malicious?
Well, it looks like this guy went and like the company was like, yeah, absolutely, no problem.
Yeah.
I need your address. Here's a return label. Send it back to us. We'll figure it out. Sorry
Yeah.
for the inconvenience. These things happen. It doesn't matter if it's a gun, if it's a car, if it's a Pez dispenser. This happens.
Yes.
And unfortunately it does, but that's just what happens with manufactured goods. It just is that way. it doesn't sound like the manufacturer asked him to go out and do further testing to troubleshoot this himself. It looks like they requested to have the rifle returned so that they could be the ones to do it, thus taking on the liability themselves should something further happen with rifle.
According to Steve Goulet, they quote said to him, "Something is definitely wrong with your rifle."
If the manufacturer tells you something's wrong, why would you shoot it? Why would you put yourself in the potential of harm's way?
And this is the thing that it complicates the whole thing, because I've said multiple times, it will take a lot for me to shit on Canadian manufacturers because of the climate that Canadian manufacturers in the gun industry have to work under.
Yeah,
the
let's
conditions,
not cannibalize ourselves.
Yeah, the conditions that Canadian manufacturers have to work under are absolutely deplorable.
Yeah.
And so I will fully admit that my initial intent or impulse when it comes to Canadian manufacturing is to give them a break, because like you wouldn't have fuck all if these people weren't standing on the front line and constantly falling on their own sword in front of the government.
Yeah.
But I personally draw the line at releasing products that explode.
Oh, yes.
I do. I just do.
Yeah.
I have all the patience in the world if you did the best with your design and you have a piston snapping issue and you're trying to work on it. I have all the patience in the world if you tried to listen to your customers who were screaming until they were blue in the face about rear pivot or rear takedown pins. And so the next iteration of your MCR has a rear takedown pin. You accidentally made the receiver a little bit too thin and some receivers end up cracking. I have all the patience in the world for that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't really have patience for, like, you put a product out that catastrophically fails because you can kill someone.
That's the thing. I mean,
However, if you contact that company and they tell you send it back immediately, there is something wrong with your rifle.
Yeah.
And you take it upon yourself to shoot it again and it blows up in your face, you are a dumbass.
Then you're responsible. The company
You're responsible.
did what they could to try and, for lack of a better term, mitigate that risk. And what's unfortunate is the customer decided to carry on. If a manufacturer told me that something was definitely wrong with something, I'm not going to go fire it again.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's insane, right? Like,
there's no benefit to me to do that.
I'll just test it myself, with all of my metallurgical and engineering and physics knowledge. I'm going to go test this myself. What could you possibly have learned from continuing to do that?
With the fact that, like, this company tried to do the right thing. They tried to do right by their customer. And then now this guy is upset. I mean, rightfully so. I'd be mad if something blew up in my face, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Context is important. And that's kind of what's missing here.
I want to finish reading his email just because I want to make sure that both sides of this have that,
100%.
That I'm airing both sides fully. So it says, we appreciate all of our customers and hold ourselves to a high standard of quality and safety of our products. It's important for customers who contact our warranty department to follow instructions to return the gun after being told there is, quote, definitely a problem, and not to continue to shoot the gun for their own safety and the safety of others. Seems reasonable. We would assume that this would go unsaid, but under these circumstances, it's important to reiterate that this relates to all firearms on the market. And I would agree with that statement.
And I bet you they'll put that in further customer emails. Do not fire this gun one more time before sending it back to us.
Exactly. Yeah. We have been working diligently to investigate the incident and have it resolved as soon as possible. As many of you can imagine, it's not an easy or a quick process to make these determinations, as many of the circumstances and variables cannot be confirmed 100%. The customer admits to disassembling parts off of the rifle post malfunction. Like, just know quit when you're ahead, dude. It already blew up. Leave it the
Okay.
fuck alone and quit contaminating their scene. You know what I mean? Like, let the experts deal with it. And some of the damage on the rifle is not consistent with the description of the events. We are confident that we will be able to get to the bottom of this as we have sent the parts for analysis. In the meantime, we are glad to know the customer's okay. I get that. Yeah, we'd like to further express our appreciation to the community that supports us in a time of manufacturing firearms in the Canadian climate is far less than ideal. Like, obviously, regards Steve Goulet, Chief Executive Officer of Crusader Arms. So there we go. So let's relate this now to the Crusader Arms thing.
Yeah.
Should they be putting out a rifle that potentially, now if this whole SAMI spec thing hasn't been proven, if it's real, should they be putting out chambers that are out of SAMI spec? Clearly not.
No.
Clearly not.
That's an easy answer.
Yeah. But we have yet to have that confirmed, because the guy was good at putting photos of the rifle and his face up on the internet, but he did not provide photos of the brass and a caliper showing whether they're out of spec or not. And I question why.
I do too, because honestly, like in this industry, in those forums, guys love to post pictures of the minutia of these things.
Exactly.
They really
unless,
do. I mean,
unless they don't have the minutia, that exists.
yeah.
And what this guy said in his post does not jive with what Steve says the emails were.
Which is really disappointing.
Yes.
I mean, if a company told me not to fire a gun, I wouldn't fire it. But that's
that's the other thing, right?
That's just a personal choice that I would have made differently.
Yeah. If I had noticed that, if I had noticed anything that the chamber wasn't whatever, and I had contacted that company and they said, okay, don't shoot it. Well, even if they didn't say don't shoot it anymore, okay, something's wrong, I'm going to send you a prepaid label, send it back to me. I'm not going out the next day.
No, the gunsmith that he talked to. Now, here's another factor. The gunsmith that he talked to said this is not right.
Yes. Why would you shoot it after that?
Gunsmith think of him going out and firing this again. So he's had not only the manufacturer, but also, I would say, a trusted friend or advisor tell him this is not right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if my gunsmith or any of the gunsmiths I've worked with or told me don't fire this, I'm not gonna fire it.
And I'm not a gunsmith or a ballistics expert or anything, but from what I understand, 30 thousandths of an inch of headspace out is a pretty significant amount. Mm-hmm. So, like, if a gunsmith tells me that, I'm not going out and shooting it again. It's just, period, end of discussion. So I guess end result, what we have here again is like, are they responsible? Is Crusader Arms ultimately responsible? Okay, if they put a gun out that was out of headspace, yes, they are responsible for that. But are they responsible for the explosion in this specific example?
No.
They told the guy, like, there's something wrong.
I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but if they told him something's wrong, now they didn't say something's wrong, don't go back to the range.
But do they have to? Like, God almighty. I think that multiple of our listeners have kind of summed the whole thing up for me. Cappy said it a couple of times. I think Bending has mentioned it. Dan has mentioned it. Jonathan Bergen Mike Heineck has commented on it. Everything breaks. Yeah. What matters is how the company that made it responds to it. All you can hope for is good customer service. And that's what separates a good company from a bad company.